Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Aleisha and I am going to talk with you all today in regards to my experience with GERD and my hiatal hernia. I will be having my hiatal hernia repaired this upcoming week, so I wanted to document and share my experience with you all just in case some of you may be experiencing the same thing as well. So back in late 2020, I started experiencing difficulty swallowing with a little bit of heartburn. It wasn't a lot of heartburn, but I had a lot of difficulty swallowing. So in February of 2021, I decided to go in for an endoscopy. Well, the doctor I went to, we scheduled my endoscopy, we set it up. I went down to have, them look inside to take a biopsy to see what was going on with that, so I can, see if I have like a hiatal hernia or what's causing it. Is it an ulcer? I had no idea what was going on. I knew I was just having difficulty swallowing my food. At that time of my endoscopy, right after, he did inform myself and my husband that as he was going down in my esophagus, that he had nicked my esophagus and that he took a small biopsy from another area. According to the doctor at that time that I had went to, he told me that as soon as the camera went down into my esophagus immediately inflated, okay? And it dilated on its own, which I still have a hard time believing. I'm a nurse, a registered nurse by profession. I don't think that's the truth, but at the time I just needed some answers. I needed some relief. With that experience, with that particular endoscopy, I remember later on that evening when I went home, it was time to take some medication because I felt like, my throat was starting to hurt from the biopsy a little bit. It's not horrible pain, but it was very uncomfortable for me. So I tried to take a capsule ibuprofen. That was painful. It was so bad. I literally was buckled down to my knees. And that is due to the fact that when he had nicked my esophagus, it must have been a pretty big tear. And according to the doctor at the time, I specifically asked the doctor, do I have a hiatal hernia? He informed me, no, I did not have a hiatal hernia. Everything looked fine. He did see esophagitis, but no hiatal hernia. Just go home and try to heal the tear that he had caused in my esophagus. That experience was really bad for me. So after that procedure, I just kind of decided I'm not going back. I'm not going to be seen by another doctor. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want them going in my throat or anywhere else in my body for that matter, because that was very painful. So as 2021 progresses, my difficulty swallowing as well as my heartburn begin to intensify. My difficulty swallowing at this time, and now I'm still eating, but I'm not eating as much. Whenever I eat the smallest amounts of food, I would have to literally chug it down with lots and lots and lots and lots of water. It would take me over an hour to eat a small plate of food. My husband's looking at me like, what is taking you so long to eat? But, I had to keep in mind at that time, I can't eat a lot. I get full fast. I'm trying my best to eat. So, let's just rock with it. That also turned into severe heartburn. I didn't know what was caused. I didn't know at the time that I had a hiatal hernia. And I kept thinking, why is my acid just constantly going up? Because I specifically asked my previous GI doctor during my first endoscopy, do I have a hiatal hernia? Because it feels like, something's keeping that open. Because it feels like every time I swallow, it feels like I have an open wound. because it is burning. Something's burning up my esophagus. He told me, no, I don't have a hiatal hernia, just a little esophagitis, and just go home and repair the neck. You know, just take it easy, soft foods and things of that nature. Towards the end of 2021, at this point, I'm just winging it at this point. I am trying my best to eat food. The heartburn is so severe. It is so severe. Do you see that fireplace image I have going in the background? That's exactly what my heartburn felt like. It felt like someone had just took a match and threw it down my throat, and it just kept coming up. The flames kept coming up. And my heartburn was so bad that it would literally feel like someone had took a match and held it to the back of my head and pulled it away. Put the match there, pulled it away. Because the back of my head, till this day, feels like it's burning. Now we're fast forward to February 2022. We're now a year in since my last endoscopy. Okay, my brother, who lives in Orlando, comes down to visit me. I went out to go get my husband and my family, my brother and I, something to eat for lunch or dinner. I can't remember which one. And I'm riding in the car with my brother and my son, who's 8 years old. Okay, we stop, get the food in the car. My brother needs to run into the convenience store to grab something. And I decided I want to taste a piece of my husband's chicken. You know, I haven't eaten all day because I'm constantly having reflux. Yeah, the piece of chicken was so small. It was very, very small. And I nibbled on it. And I knew for me, I have to keep chewing my food in order for it to go down. So I'm chewing my food. And as I swallow, it gets stuck. It gets stuck in the middle of my chest. At this point, I'm trying to swallow. I'm like, it gotta go down, it's gotta go down. Now I'm choking. I'm so disoriented. Now, at this point, I was pulled over in a parking area, but I was so disoriented from not being able to swallow my food. I couldn't get to the door handle to open the door, to run aside to get help. My son's in the back freaking out because mommy's choking. And I'm just like, I'm okay. I'm trying to talk, but I cannot talk. There's cars around me, you know, they're pumping their gas and they're looking at my car like, what's going on? And I'm trying to signal for help, but no one would like come over. I mean, we're in the middle of COVID, so I get it. But I was like literally trying to save my life. At this point, I see my brother walk out of the store and he comes to the car. He's like, "You're okay?" I'm like, I can't talk. So he goes back inside the store. He runs, get me some water. I start to drink the water and it finally goes down. Oh, let me back up. This is, you know, a little, you know, TMI. But as I'm choking in the car before my brother comes to the car, I begin to vomit. But the acid is going around the food particles. So at this point, I'm just vomiting up acid while the food is still stuck in my chest. It was bad. Now my brother comes back to the car with the water. I'm drinking the water, finally get it down, you know, managed to make my way home. And that is the moment I decided I'm not living like this anymore. I have no quality of life. I can't do basic stuff. I can't eat. I can barely play with my son because I'm in so much pain all the time because my head is burning, my head is hurting, my chest is burning, everything hurts. I can even tell that it's changed the sound of my voice because I got so much stuff going on in my chest and my throat. I then scheduled an appointment with another doctor. I go see my second GI doctor. My second GI doctor, but I was scheduled to see his nurse practitioner because he was scheduled out for appointments. I'm like, okay, I'll go see the nurse practitioner. Very nice guy. And I guess the policy in that office is, you know, whoever you see in the office that day, as far as like the nurse practitioner whatever doctor is in the office that day is the doctor who will be performing your endoscopy. Keep in mind, I never saw the doctor. I saw the nurse practitioner, and there are 3 doctors in this office. He was scheduled out late April. And at this point, we're in March 2022. And I'm like, I can't do late April. I'm like, ma'am, I can't even eat. I can't swallow. And at this point in my journey, I'm barely swallowing water. Okay? So I'm trying to swallow water. That's barely going down. That's causing heartburn. And I was like, is there another doctor who I can be seen by in the office? Because I wasn't seen by the doctor that day. I was seen by the nurse practitioner. So in my mind, as a medical professional, well, you know, game on. Any doctor who can review my chart can then perform my endoscopy. They were like, no, that's not how it works in this office. Even though you were seen by the nurse practitioner, whatever doctor is physically located in the office that day, whether he sees you or not, has to do your endoscopy. Well, I'm like, well, that's not going to work for me, ma'am. I scheduled my endoscopy to get it on the books, but I told myself, I'm going to be my own healthcare advocate. I start calling around to different GI doctors. First, I did my research because I'm not going to let anybody just look inside of me, cut on me, all that stuff. So I did my research on doctors in my area to see who is the best GI doctor. I scheduled an appointment with my 3rd GI doctor. Went in to see the doctor. Doctor was phenomenal. Did my endoscopy, did my appointment, did my endoscopy. During my endoscopy, he said that I had, severe esophagitis, and that's from the acid coming up. And the acid coming up, which actually I had another stricture, another narrowing of my esophagus. So he then went down, opened my esophagus back up, and then was able to finally diagnose me. He said, yes, you have a pretty significant hiatal hernia, which the first doctor did not find. So yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I canceled my other endoscopy that I did have set up because I was able to get the other endoscopy done and earlier in the month of April as opposed to later. I'm like, the sooner the better. Let's get this ball rolling. I don't have time to waste. I feel like my life was at stake. So that GI doctor then referred me to a general surgeon who also specializes in GI. I set up an appointment with that doctor because my previous GI doctor, the 3rd GI doctor, had already scheduled my barium swallow where I have to drink the barium. That first barium experience was no bueno. No bueno. It was disgusting. Oh my God. I don't want to freak you guys out, but I want to prepare you as if, you have, as if you have to go do this, or if you have to go do this one day, because it was so much barium. I literally felt like I was turning into a piece of chalk. Okay. I met with the general surgeon for GI. He says, I got your results from the doctor. He says, yes, you do have a significant hiatal hernia. I do have your barium swallow results, but I need you to do another barium swallow. This time it's a time-released barium swallow and a manometry test, esophageal manometry. I was like, so you can't use the first barium swallow to... He was like, no, this is different. I'm like, oh God, no, please don't make me go back in. So I go back in, I do the barium swallow the second time. This time it wasn't that bad. It was at a different facility. Even the barium tasted different. And it did not last 20 minutes. This probably lasted all of 5-10 minutes, if that. Or it felt like it did, because the barium really was not that bad. They were then again able to see the hiatal hernia with that barium swallow. Then I had to have a esophageal manometry test. Let me let me tell you guys, let me tell you, and I don't mean to freak you out when I say this, but that esophageal manometry test was a beast. It was horrible. So basically what they're doing for this test is they have to test the motility or the mobility of your swallowing to see how well you swallow when they put this tube down your throat. And let me just give you guys an example of what the tube looks like. Let me see if I can find something in my room here. 1 second, I'll find it. Okay, so take a look at this pen. This pen, look at the diameter of the pen. To me, it's just a tiny bit smaller than the diameter of this pen. They have to stick a flexible tube down your nose, all the way down to your stomach, okay? Your stomach is not your intestines. Your stomach is right after your esophagus, okay? And it's thick. This tube is thick. They did inform me. Now, before I had my test, I was so I didn't want to do it. I personally went to my portal. I emailed the physician and I was like, do I have to do this? I don't want to do this. My anxiety is super, super high. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be in pain. My throat is already very, very raw and sore from the gastric juices constantly influxing in my chest. He was like, well, if you want to have your hernia repaired, you know, the manometry test will help you determine which type of surgery to have, because he gave me 3 options: the links, the Nissen Fundoplication, and the Toupet. And at this point I had in my mind, I'm doing the Nissen. If you're gonna fix me, fix me. Okay? I don't want no 270-degree wrap. If you're gonna wrap it, you might as well just wrap it all the way, because this hurts too bad. And he was like, well, if you want to have the Nissen, then you're going to have to do that manometry, because it's really closing off that sphincter. So you really won't, and we need to verify how well you can swallow. So I put my big girl panties on. I went in there and I was like, I can do this. Look, I've been through worse. I know I can do this. So I went in there. I sat on the table. The nurse gave me lidocaine to drink. I've watched videos. I've seen where they sprayed things in the nose. They sprayed things in the mouth. But they gave me lidocaine to drink. Disgusting. If I could set my head on fire. Yeah, and then she squirted lidocaine in my nose, told me to sniff it, so it went down my esophagus to try to numb it as much as possible. The doctor informed me, and the nurse informed me that it doesn't hurt, but it's very uncomfortable. And in my mind, hurting and very uncomfortable are the same. They're one and the same. So I went in there, I looked over at the table, and I saw this tube is about this long. Think from your nose to your stomach is about that long. And I was like, oh God, this is not going to work for me. So I sat there and I breathed. She started in my right nostril. First, she asked me, do you know if you have a septal deviation in your nose? I'm like, I don't think so. I think I have a small one, but I can't remember which nostril it is. So she started in the right one and she's starting to advance it. It probably got to about right here. And I'm like, oh God, I'm screaming, oh God, I can't take it. I can't take it. And she's trying to push and she's trying to push. And it's like, oh my God. And she's like, I think I went in the one with the nasal deviation. I'm like, no. So she had to pull it out, drink some more lidocaine, then spray this nostril, sniff that lidocaine down to my throat, and she had to start all over. I'm sitting there like, do I have to do this? Do I have to do this? She was like, if you want options in regards to your surgery, then you're going to have to do it, or they're not going to have many options. So I literally said, okay, let's just go. Let's just go. And I sat there, said, if you need to squeeze my arm, squeeze my arm. I'm like, no, if I squeeze your arm, ma'am, I'm going to hurt you. And she used some very colorful language and said, yes, squeeze my arm. I promise you, you will not hurt me. So I'm squeezing her arm, and she's advancing the tube down my nose all the way down to my stomach. I'm just crying. I'm crying. And at this point, when it hits about here, you can feel something in your throat. You know what it is, but your body automatically tells you, reject it, take it out. And I'm like dry heaving. I'm like trying to get something up. She said, it's normal. It's almost there. Keep going. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I started to vomit all on her and the floor. It was bad. But I said, I just pictured my son standing, beside me, and my husband standing behind me. And I'm like, I got to do this for them. I have to do this for them. I have to do this for them because I need to be a better person for not only myself, but my family. I need to be more present for my husband, more present for my child. So I just put my big girl panties on and I did it. I did it. The test doesn't take that long, but when it goes down, it is not pleasant. And then once you do the manometry, you have to lay on your side. She gave me sips of water through a syringe to see how my swallowing was. Got through it. Taking it out was nothing. I could feel it, but it was not as bad as going down. So we're at the point now. This is May 24th, 2022. And I am going in for my surgery this week. I have decided, instead of going with the Nissen Fundoplication, as of right now, I decided to do the Toupet. I decided against the links where they put the metal band around your stomach to hold it down because, one, I don't want any foreign objects inside of my body if I don't have to. I was gung-ho on the Nissen Fundoplication, and then I realized I don't think I want to not have the ability to vomit if I need to, if I'm sick or belch, because I have so much stricture around. So inevitably, I decided to go with the Toupet, which is a 270-degree wrap of your fundus. The fundus is the top of your stomach, around your esophagus. So it still leaves you a little room. So this is my esophagus. This is the wrap. A little room for, if I need to vomit, God forbid, for whatever reason, if I get sick, I have that ability. I do not want the ability not to, because from the things I've read, it's really bad. So that's where I am with my surgery decision. I will keep you guys updated and posted post-surgery in regards to ultimately which one I decide on. But as of right now, I am 95% sure I'm going to get the Toupet Fundoplication. I will keep you updated in regards to post-op recovery, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and so forth. So yeah, if you can please stick around. This is not my first video, but I had a previous YouTube channel where I deleted all the content. I felt led to start over with just things that I'm most passionate about. Like I said, I'm a nurse by profession. I also have an MBA, so I have a medical degree and a business degree. But I'm a multifaceted woman. I'm a multifaceted mama. So on this channel, you will get lots of great content in regards to medical information, fun medical information, beauty, lifestyle, maybe a little fashion, because I do love fashion as well. But as far as like the core content, it will basically be medical information that's pertinent to this day and time, and beauty, medical beauty, things of that nature. So stick around, you guys. Thank you for hanging in with me this long, and I can't wait to start this journey over with you, and I will keep you updated post-surgery. Have a great day. Bye.